What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some heartfelt type beats. If you guys haven't subbed already, I'll turn this on to do so because those have it a lot. Let's hop right into it. So BPM 140 is kind of the sweet spot for like this style. And I'll go over sound selection, of course, when we go through. So scale, we could just run with a minor because it's all the white notes. It should be the easiest to relate to. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is the first piano I'm using. You can use any piano you want. Okay, so let's go in here, and what I want to do is break this up so that you can kind of make your own melody without having to watch videos, because I think that's important. So what we're going to do is first start with the bass. Now for this style, I think that if you make the more basic the bass line, the better, because it will allow more freedom for your melody. So what we can do is, we are in A minor, right? We could take this, let's quantize it, and then for rap and stuff, I like to go down. Okay, but if you want to go up, you like that sound, you can. But I would go down, and then you will move over this. Oops. Okay, and it sounds bad right now, but that's because we have to kind of add our chords later. But I'm gonna stop it there just so it's simple and the chapters and everything, and I'm gonna just make this larger. Right, and even if you want to go up, right, if you're like, nah, I want to go up, you want to do something like this, that's fine. Everything still will apply, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so that's the bass. Let's go ahead and move on to making the chords. All right, so now that we have our bass notes here, okay, what we can do is just use an old trick, and the old trick is this: you just use the root chords throughout the whole entire thing. So it'll be something like this, and this is pretty common. Okay, so from here you could just make any chord that you want, right? Any one that you like. Yeah, so we have a minor, and then you can combo the minor with suspended to kind of get that sad sound. Now if you're not sure what I'm talking about, like what chords, you can come up to stamps. If you're an FL, I'm not sure about the DAWs, and you can come up here. Well, I don't know if you can see that on screen, but you can kind of, let's add in suspended. Right, you can add in chords and they have the templates for you. Okay, let me see which one I like. Right, and the cool thing about this is you can actually keep going with it if you want to do something like this. Okay, just kind of give you some creativity things you can do. So those are our chords, and I guess we can add some like octave little things here. All right, so we're done with the chords, and let's actually build a melody within this. Okay, so now we're gonna start our melody. Okay, so pretty much I'm gonna pull this down because this is too high. Okay, pull it down. Okay, so if you're like right now you're not sure where to start, a quick trick that you can use, make this smaller, is take your chords and then pull these up 2 octaves, and then this will give you a range of where you can put your melody, so every note in between. And if you want to use some other tricks, you could do +1s like this, but pretty much you're just using a scale. But this will be like your range to start your melody. So let's just listen to where we want to go. Okay, and we are in the 1/4 beat grid. Okay, it's an easy grid to use to make melodies in. I'll edit the velocity later. All right. And then I'm gonna use this little jazz thing right here, just get some like unique rhythms. Let's see. Let's make a chord backwards like this, and then we can use that same jazz melody, and I'm gonna just pull this down. Let's make that a little quicker. Let's make this one a little lighter. Yeah, it sounds a lot better. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna take this and pull this up so we have like a higher tone to match the melody. Let's see. Just trying to match this over here. Matter of fact, let's make it a lot easier. Let's copy this whole thing. That way we keep the same exact rhythms, and we don't mess up the flow. Just in case somebody's rapping on it, we don't want to mess, you know. Let's take this C, maybe Shift D. Let's see. I'm gonna just scroll these back a little bit. I think that sounds pretty good. And of course you would edit the velocity, but I'm gonna keep it bare bones for this because that could take a long time. And then on this side, what we can do is just literally copy this over, and yeah, we just keep it like that. All right, so that is the melody. Now we can move on to our counter or whatever. All right, so now we're gonna start our counter, and real quick, I just moved this from C to B because I wanted this to have a slightly different vibe rather than the same. All right, so this is the piano we're using, and then what we can do is just copy this little melody we made here. Matter of fact, probably copy this too, and then pull it up an octave. And then we can start like building off of this. And we just make a little melody. Take that note. And at this point, you can pretty much add anything. Let's copy this over. And we can copy this all the way over, let that bleed over. And then there we go. Just want to bleed these over a little bit. All right, so of course you can edit velocity, but I'm not gonna do that because of time. So now we can go ahead and add our little vocals. All right, so now we're gonna add our vocals. Now you don't really need these, but they are like a pillar of the style. Now I like to use distant voices because you don't have to add effects to them. They already kind of sound like good in the mix and stuff. So this is the preset or pack that I'm using. And I just put it to A minor. So yeah, I'm gonna probably fast forward through this a little bit to find, you know, some stuff that'll play. All right, so I'm gonna just fast forward through this and see. Okay, so these are the vocals I picked. So I'll just play it one time through. Okay, and as far as placement, I just kind of placed them whenever the instruments will stop. I just wanted to put one in. So those are the vocals. Let's move on to our bass. All right, so now we just have a bass, and I usually just like to add a synth bass so that, you know, maybe you want to add a verse part with like a little low energy. So this is pretty simple. We just follow our bass from here. And then we can add in our 808 since we're already right here. Shift D, and then this is typically the, like if you want like an 808 pattern that's like really common with this style, it's something like this. And then you would just repeat it like that. Oops. This. And do something different like this so it's not the same. Okay, so that is our low end, and now we can just throw in our drums. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this off with the drums, and then we'll do effects and stuff like that. So I'll fast forward it, but if I do anything that's interesting, like chops or anything like that, I'll slow it down and explain. But for the most part with this style, you want to keep the drums super dry and simple. So you don't want a lot of stuff going on all the time. You want it to be very, so like we could do something like this just real quick. Like, and you want to like be selective with your drums. Like stuff like that. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All right, so real quick with these hi-hats, I just want to show you for a grid for this would be 1/2 step. You can kind of add these little hi-hat chops in here. Now when you add these in, you want to make sure you edit the velocity or it's going to sound bad. So this is what I like to do, this little pattern right here, just something like this. Probably could make it look like a pattern like that will work for this, and just a little tip there. And same for like stuff like this. I'll play real time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. Okay, so here are all of the drums all together. So this is the hi-hats. This is the most complicated thing I did, so I'll just show this. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is tighten this up by mixing it and adding some effects and stuff. All right, so for the processing, I didn't really do too much. Just put the 808 in mono for this, and then on this piano, I added Supermassive, and this is just a custom preset. And I think this is default. Yeah, this is default preset. Just to kind of put it in space. Just kind of put it in the background, and then I sent this through this channel. Okay, and put a portal, and then we put sleep cycle on this. Okay, and then I EQ'd out some of the bass, and what this is doing is sending this sound to here so we can put effects on it, so it's separate, right? So it's not altering the main sound. So I'll try to, you can hear that. I might leave this up a bit actually. Okay, now for the rest of these, just leveling, and then on arcade, I just threw a thermal on it, just so it's not like bare bones, and it's the preset. Okay. Okay, and then all I did for the master, I used a spiff. Now, this is just, you don't need to have this, but this is just what I chose to add, just to make it punchier. This is literally just the default preset, and then Spectre to boost. You could just use the EQ for this. I just felt like using it because it was there. So I boosted at 3K and a little bit in the low end, and then just a fruity clipper to give it that like saturated feel by turning its threshold a little to the left, and then you can see I just cut out some of the lows, and then this is the whole thing. So turn this on. All right, and that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.